Welcome back, everybody, to the Fish Room. Today, we've got a lot of work to do with our guppies. 1, 2, 3, 4. So today we got to move out a bunch of fry, get those into their grow out tanks. And with those empty, we'll have room for more females to go in so we can get some more fry going. So let's jump into it. We'll move some fish around, show you some cool stuff, and let's just do it. All right, up here is all of our guppy birthing tanks. We've got tanks ranging from 1 gallon to 2.5 gallons. And we are slowly moving out these smaller ones for the bigger ones. But right now I've got all the air off of them so we can take a good look and see what we got. All right, in our first jar, these are going to be our smallest guppy fry. I believe these are more of a mutt guppy, but they're our smallest. So what I'm actually going to do is move these two into the grow out tank. She's going to stay where she's at. And she's going to stay focused. She's ready to pop any day now. We're going to get these fry, and our first fry into 1 2.5 gallon tank so we can free up some tanks for some more ladies to go into. All right, so I think our best bet is going to start here and get these bigger juveniles out and into their grow out. So I'm going to remove the filters, dump these tanks out into a net so I can just put them in their grow out. We'll get those filters cleaned, refilled, and then we can add in some new ladies. I'm just going to come in and disconnect. All right, we've got our filters out. Let's take our first round of juveniles over to the sink. Yeah, they're looking fat and sassy. No. Small batch. Hey, if you've made it this far into the video, why don't you click subscribe? Just one click. Click. All right, we got our first tank done. Then go to number 2. More mystery snails. Not very many this time, but there were some newer females, so smaller batches make sense. Let's go ahead and get these over into the grow out. Look at that. All guppies, no snails. Oh, 2 left. And 2 snails. There you grow. Oh. There we go. There we grow. All right, up top we've got 1, 2, 3 tanks with smaller ones in it. We're going to combine these 3 into this 2.5 gallon. So I've got to strain these and these into a net, and we're just going to add them into this. All right, let's just grab them both. Good. I think those are purple dragons. And this one. All right, we've got our first batch of fry here. And most of the snails stayed put. All right. And batch number 2 with the mystery snail. Yes. They are a little bitty. I don't know if you can see any of those. Let's get them in the tank, quick. Hey, if you've enjoyed anything so far in this video, or if you just enjoy fishy videos, click subscribe, click like, let YouTube know what you like to see so that you can see more just like it. All right, that leaves these 4 tanks up here that I have not emptied. So what I'm gonna do is grab my Python. I'm gonna do a big water change on all 4 of these. Then I'll get those other ones cleaned out, get the filters cleaned and get them back into place, filled up, and then we can pick out some new ladies to go in. I've got the Python ready. I don't know if you can hear that. There, I got the water turned on back at the sink to create a suction. And up she goes. All right, and for refilling the tank, what I'm going to do is just turn the water on. I'm going to feel it by hand to try to get it to a temperature to match what's in the jars already. That's a little cold. That's good. Let's turn it on and we'll run back to the tanks. All right, we got them refilled, but we cannot forget to dechlorinate. So I'm gonna add my dechlorinator. It's about 2 or 3 drops per gallon. All right, and with that done, we're gonna go ahead and focus on the other ones that we took out. We're gonna go clean those out and get them refilled and set up for our next batch. All right, now I'm just gonna take all of our other tanks and jars, get them cleaned out. I'm going to catch all of our unwanted snails and get them into our snail bucket. Right there. All right, and with all of those emptied out of snails, I'm just going to scrub them all out. Make sure they're pretty clean for our next batch. Put this over here. All of our 2.5 gallon tanks together. Get an idea of how it'll look eventually. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now we got to clean some sponge filters before we get them set back up. Right? Oh yeah, hey, click subscribe. Just gotta reconnect our air lines. Now we just gotta grab the Python and fill it back up. Now we need to chlorinate all of our tanks. And now that we have those dechlorinated, we can't forget about our mystery snail buddies. I'm just going to put 1 in each tank. Just so that they can help the fry with any uneaten food, and that way the water doesn't go foul. Alright, final shot of all of our clean tanks. These first 3 are completely empty. These 3 have got water changes, and all of the fry are in 1 tank. That tank. And that one's empty, ready to go, and that one got a water change. So we're going to get some new females, and we'll get all these tanks occupied and ready to go. Alright, down in this tank, we are going to grab our 2 females in the upper right-hand corner there. This is our own line breed that we're working on creating. And as you can tell, they have been colonizing this tank. And so the older generation doesn't need to be in there anymore. I'm going to pull out those 2 females, add them into 2 of our tanks we just cleaned out. And eventually I'm going to select out our next breeding group from this. I bet I'm going to keep that one. Let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, you can start to see the color coming in on the new generation. And those females look like they're ready to pop. So let's go ahead and pull those out and get them up into the tanks. Alright, now before we call these tanks all done, we need to add some cover for the females so that when they release their fry, they have somewhere to hide. So we're actually going to go out to our 75-gallon tank and grab some Rotala, and then we're just going to float them at the top of these tanks, and then we'll call it all good. Alright, we've got our clump of Rotala here. I'm just going to put a little sprig or 2 in each of the tanks with the females. Alright, so I just got these 2 jars left with no occupants. So I'm going to run over to our purple dragon tank and grab a couple females. Alright, so when picking our females out, I want to get the biggest bellies that I've started to box out a little bit and have a nice big dark gravid spot, which is the dark spot towards the end of their abdomen. That's actually where the fry are growing. So let's see what we can find here. I do like you. This net sucks. Where's my little net? Little handled net. Go for that one on the bottom. She looks pretty boxy. Alright, I'll take 2 of those 3 females. The male can leave. Scoop those out. Alright, so we've got our 2 new females in. I'm going to label their jars. They're both purple dragons. Purple dragons. And this was one of ours. She's an F5. That's an F5 purple dragon. This one's also an F5. That one's a mutt. These are all of our fry growing out. So I'm going to get the air turned on. We're going to call this rack done. You know, this thing, I started wearing it this week, and I think it worked pretty good, but we did the entire other half of the fish room on that side, that half, and the microphone decided not to work. So you'll have to take my word for it. Essentially, we did the same thing on the other half. I've collected a bunch of the fry from these tanks, added them into the big one here, and we've added some new females in here. to get going. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed our Guppy content. If you did, just take a second and hit subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.